Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, and Brewers Outlet. Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Purdy Insurance, Brewers Outlet, and Sunbury Motor Company. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
And great to have you with us on the show today, brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury, Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. Joined now by one of the best in the business, unquestionably in my mind. That's Jody McDonald. Jody, Mac, my good friend, how are you? It's great to have you with us on the show today.
Always my pleasure, my friend. Thank you very much for inviting.
Let's start with the Eagles. For some odd reason, they were drafting last. I guess that's what happens when you win everything. Then they moved up, and they got a guy I think was in their top 15 in Campbell. What was your thoughts on how the draft played out for Philadelphia?
A little bit of a surprise with the first pick. Not that it's a bad pick. I just didn't think they were going to go with linebacker. Talked to a couple of different draft experts, and even I saw an interview with his Alabama coach who said he can play either. He can play linebacker and or move up to the defensive line and be a pass rush specialist. You don't really need a linebacker unless you know Nakobe Dean is not going to be able to start the year, but they take Jahad Campbell, who's potentially not going to be ready to start the year because he's also recovering from an injury. Long term, I think he's going to be a very good player for the Eagles. Don't know exactly how he fits. If he's good to go and they're going to play him on the edge and he's going to bring pass rush and he's going to replace Josh Sweat, then that's perfect. But we don't know that that's going to happen. But I think over the long haul, 5 years, he's going to be a heck of a player for the Eagles.
Yeah, and see, I think to me, Jody, when you're the Super Bowl champion, you are making luxury picks. And I think with him, I think they made a luxury pick. That you can sit there and say, hey, we're good across the board, but down the road, this guy's going to help us play. Is that fair?
I think that's very fair, and they've got a lot of faith in Fangio. Howie's got a great staff. They've got great scouts, but I think they're taking a lot of advice from Vic Fangio off his production last year, best defense in the NFL. So I think they're giving him a lot of latitude to be involved and maybe even pick directly players. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a Fangio pick. I wouldn't go quite so far as to call it a luxury pick, but you're right. It's not a given that he's going to pay immediate dividends from week 1 of next year.
And then they went Makuba at safety. And look, they've had changeover in the secondary. With some changeover in the secondary, what did you think of that pick, taking him out of Texas after his 3 years at Clemson?
Was good. I was a big fan of Nick Amanwari, who absolutely set the combine on fire with the athletic things that he did. Went back and watched his tape. Oh, he was that good. And he did drop down into the second round. I knew the Eagles would probably favor Starks, the kid from Georgia, because they always like defensive players from Georgia. Right. So they took a safety. I thought that's who was going to be with their first pick. Once they got into the second round, they took the best available safety at that spot, and that is a position of need. So if he's as good as advertised, he's supposed to be a very good cover safety, which means they're going to need Blankenship to step up and play the run as well as he did this past year again. He's got a chance to step right in and start. I know they love Sidney Brown as a player, as an athlete, as a guy, as a motivated individual. But he gets hurt often. It looks like they're trying to push Dallas Goedert out of town. And the word is because he doesn't play 17 games a year. He missed 7 last year. Sidney Brown never plays. He's almost always hurt. Right. So I think it was smart that the Eagles got another option at safety to step in if Sidney Brown is not ready to not only play full-time, but stay on the field full time.
Interesting that it's that 6 of the picks were defensive side players.
No, because that's where they had all their losses via free agency.
Yep.
They had locked up all their offensive guys, their star players, and given them lengthy mega contracts. So they needed to fill some holes and upgrade on the defensive side. So they did exactly what was necessary.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's have some fun. Let's talk about horse racing. I want to talk with a race that a lot of people love but don't usually talk about. That's the Oaks on Friday. What is your thought? Now, I know there's a great favorite in this, but what's your thought on the Oaks, the favorite, and also the competition that she could have? Yeah,
unfortunately, I'm going to sound like a chalk-eating weasel, but Good Cheer has been just that good all year long. Has not lost 6 for 6 lifetime and wins open links almost every single time. Now, Brad Cox, who trains this horse, has a very good horse still in the barn, who won the 2-year-old juvenile last year for the Phillies, but has been injured and just hasn't been able to get up to speed, is not ready for this, didn't run in any of the prelims, so wasn't going to be in this field. But later on in the year, we might see a showdown between a couple of Brad Cox fillies, but I don't see how the 6-5 favorite Good Cheer can lose the Oaks on Friday. I'd love to be able to. I've handicapped it, and I've attempted to try and get someone who I think can run with her. Lacare, the second choice as per the morning line odds, is probably the second best horse. In other words, I'm telling you, I think the Oaks is going to be a very favorite-filled race.
Yeah, and then the quiet side would be the other single digit to 1 out there at 8 to 1, and that's But again, that's if you're boxing. Maybe you want to do that, especially in a 14-horse field. So,
Quiet Side unfortunately drew the 14. I'm willing to go out as far as the 11 with Good Cheer, but the 14 is very far out, which means she's going to have to run very far. So I won't be playing her.
When I was out at Santa Anita Super Bowl weekend, Michael McCarthy came over and sat down and talked with us for a while. He is going to have the favorite in the race. That is journalism. And not only is journalism the favorite in the race, you talked about Quiet Side starting out at 14, Jody. How do you feel in a 20-horse field? How do you feel about the 8 spot in a 20-horse field?
8 spot's a nice spot.
Yep.
The rail is difficult because you have to go. And, oh, by the way, Baffert's 2 horses drew the 1 and the 4.
Yep.
So they're both going quickly to the lead. And then I think that there will be a major battle on the front end. East Avenue is also a horse that does run with a lot of speed. A horse that I'm already pot committed to is Owen Almighty, who drew post position number 20.
Yeah.
And if you're that far out, usually you try and go to the lead. You expend a lot of energy up front. From what I understand, they're going to try and come off the pace. When he's run his best, he's won races wire to wire. But they are going to try and get into a decent spot to be a off-the-pace horse. Not coming from way far behind, but probably a little bit of a stalking spot. Should be in the top 5 or 6, but he will not be on top. I have no idea whether that's going to work for him. He's never tried it before.
Right.
So this is not usually the horse you want to experiment with something new. Not the race you want to do in the Kentucky Derby, but that's what they're planning on doing with Owen Almighty from the 20. I've got a lot of money already tied into him in the Kentucky Derby future books, so I'm hoping that it works like a charm. I'm doubting it. I won't be playing him on Saturday. I've already got enough invested in him. Don't have to double down on it. The horse that I think that can give journalism the hardest time is Sovereignty, who also drew outside post position 18, but gets its regular jockey back, Junior Alvarado.
Yep.
From what I understand, he's completely over his injury. He's good to go. He's never lost on the horse. Bill Mott is as good a trainer as there is. I think Sovereignty has the right running style in a race that is going to be very fast early and is probably going to come back to the pack. Sovereignty is a horse that can come from well off the pace, and I think he might be able to catch them all late in the stretch, much like last year. Sierra Leone came up just short. Japanese horse came up just short. They were all closing, but Mystic Dan, because he did it the shortest route coming up the rail, was able to win it. I think we're going to see a similar race this year. speed will not be there, and it'll be whoever's got the best kick late.
Since it's Derby 151 and not 150, Bob Baffert's allowed to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sarcasm dripping here. And he brings in, as you mentioned, Citizen Bull and Rodriguez. Rodriguez won the Wood. Mike Smith's aboard. Where can potentially Rodriguez fit into this race based on his running style?
I'm going to try and beat him, and he was very impressive in the Wood Memorial. Got the best speed figures of any horse in any race, not named Journalism, leading up to this Kentucky Derby. But again, I think it's just going to be too fast on the front end, and I don't think he's going to make the lead. I think either East Avenue coming in from outside, who was also at a ton of speed, and he ran a good second at Keeneland and just got beat on the wire, and his stablemate, Citizen Bull, who, for value's sake, I'm going to use him in my exotics. Probably not on top, but second, third, fourth, exactas, trifectas, superfectas, because if he goes off at 20-1, he ran poorly. He stopped badly in the Santa Anita Derby, his last race.
Yeah.
But prior to that, he was the best horse as a 2-year-old and the early stages of the 3-year-old year. Yeah. So I think they just throw him out because he had a bad race last time. He had good works coming into this one. He's got to go because he's going to be on the rail. So I think he will be the one who's going to be on the lead. I think they're going to run Rodriguez into the ground. Chances are all three at his speed are going to stop, but if I had to bet one of them, it would be Citizen Bull, not Rodriguez or East Avenue.
Because, I mean, for the uninitiated out there, not one horse in this race has run a mile and a quarter. So that's going to be one of the keys on this as to who can handle the additional distance. What is it about Journalism that is impressive? I know the horse has not been beaten, but what is impressive about him?
Well, his last race was very impressive because he had been a horse that had been, like Rodriguez, like Citizen Bull, needed to be at or very close to the lead, and that's how he'd won all of his previous races. In the Santa Anita Derby, kind of got shuffled back. He kind of got blocked. Outstanding ride by his jock, and had the wherewithal to get up and just blaze through the stretch at Santa Anita. But the fact that he won doing it differently than he had previously was impressive, because in a 20-horse field, a lot of stuff goes down. You never know exactly how it's going to play. He showed that he has versatility, and that's why he's your 3-1 favorite.
Yeah, and 3-1, and something tells me it's going to. I could see that horse maybe being 5-2 by the time it goes off, possibly.
If it's going to move, I think it's more likely to go down to 5-2 than up to 7-2. So if you can live with 5-2, he's done the best this year. He is a legitimate favorite and should be the favorite, and I think will go off as the favorite. If you're willing to play a favorite of 5-2, you don't always get 5-2 when you bet favorites, but in a 24-horse field, you should get at least 5-2. If you like them, I would not complain about 5-2 if you're betting on Journalism.
Look, you love this sport. How do you like to play the big races? Do you like to just play a winner? Do you like to box it? Do you like to go trifecta? How do you like to play them?
It depends on the race and depends on how I've used different strategies every year in the Kentucky Derby. After doing 90% of my handicapping so far, the way I'm probably going to play it is with sovereignty on top on almost everything I use.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of horses that I have to respect and use underneath, Citizen Bull being one of them.
Yep.
The Japanese horse, Lux Cafe, last year. Japanese horse has never done anything in the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
Well, Forever Young came up 2 noses short. He almost won the damn thing, so I don't think you can just toss him out because of the Japanese horse. Journalism absolutely has to be used. And I give you, and my Owen Almighty I got to use just because, like I said, I'm already pot committed on him.
Yeah.
I'll give you one other one that I don't think he can win, but can he finish in the top 4 and be part of a major exotic? Yes. Cole Battle, who also is 30-1, isn't nearly the well-bred horse that a lot of other horses in this race are. Started his career on some of the smaller tracks in Louisiana. I'm not talking about the fairgrounds. I'm talking about Delta Downs and Evangeline. But he does nothing but win. And last year, his style reminds me of Mystic Dan, who last year came through the Arkansas. They both ran third. in the Arkansas Derby, came up the rail, won it all. I think Cole Battle's got a chance to be that kind of horse and be in the money coming off the pace. And he'll be a really good story if he does one, because this is a little David against Goliath.
Exactly, and Lonnie Briley's the trainer, and let's face it, that's not going to be a name like Pletcher or Asmussen or, the ones we talked about, MacArthur, or any of that. Like Lonnie Briley. Well, guess what? There are a lot of really good trainers out there. And, hey, he's got a horse in it. My friend, it was fun knocking that around for a while. Yeah, we got some draft stuff done, but the horse racing stuff was a blast.
Steve, hope you're cashing, not trashing on Saturday.
Same with you. In fact, I hope you were cashing tickets that just make you smile. How about that?
We'll give it a shot.
Thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Whenever you need me, Steve. Thanks.
You got it. The great Jody McDonald. We will come back more in a moment. Brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia. Routes 11 and 15, Hummels Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com and News Radio 1070 WKOK.
Party time, game time, or just fun time. Doesn't matter what time it is, because it's Brewers Outlet time. The Beverage Supermarket has the area's largest beer selection. Imports, microbrews, ciders, and domestics. Pick from over 100 ice-cold 12-packs and dozens of 24-ounce singles. Soda, snacks, hot sauces, fresh roasted peanuts. Make it one-stop party shopping, and don't forget the pickle bar. So whatever you're celebrating or just doing it up, Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street, Sunbury wants to see you. And thank you for your years of patronage.
When car repairs get difficult.
Well, I just don't know.
Me neither.
We get good. Sunbury Motors. More than quality new and used cars, Sunbury Motors specializes in complicated auto repair diagnosis. They can handle intricate repairs and even complete auto body with service open Monday through Friday, 7 till 4. And Sunbury Motors has made simple repairs easy. Maintaining your vehicle is necessary. Finding the time to do it is difficult. Welcome to Sunbury Motors Quick Lane. Just walk in or call ahead. Relax in their remodeled waiting room with Wi-Fi, beverages, and snacks. While Sunbury Motors factory-trained techs take care of your oil change, tire alignments, brakes, and inspections. Quick Lane, 6:30 to 6, Monday through Friday, Saturday, 6:30 till 2. Sunbury Motors, Ford and Hyundai, North 4th Street, Sunbury. And Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummels Wharf. We take the out of auto repair.